Because like with this whole art game, bro, you never know where it's gonna go, right? It might be really lame for like a few months, and then you get one really dope day, you know. Like, but
that's
you know,
totally
that's
true.
the one we talk about. You know, my son's hella into music. Shout out to my boy Marcos from POD. He got to go backstage. We actually rolled up on stage with him while they were performing. That was crazy.
Oh,
awesome.
Man,
yeah,
that's
it was
awesome.
dope. And then did a poster for Pantera also.
Oh,
did you hang out with Pantera?
No, I wish. It was POD, Anthrax, Iron Maiden, and Judas Priest. All.
what?
This is the Inkpulp podcast.
Wait, Matteo, is it minestrone you're making? Is that
Minestrone?
Minestrone.
I don't know why you're Americans, when you see the E at the end, you say minestrone.
I always said minestrone, but everyone else said minestrone, so I dropped the A.
No,
but you're
it's-
right. It's
We pronounce it every single letter you see. So when you see the E at the end, we say
yeah,
A.
minestrone.
Yeah.
Sounds way cooler like that.
Yeah, it doesn't everything sounds cooler in Italian.
Yeah, it's a fucking minestrone. It's a fucking delicious. Without all the fucking, it's more, it's better, but
With the hard
But
E
it would-
sound, it definitely dumbs it down, bro.
Yeah. We're like minestrone. Welcome to the Inkpulp podcast, everybody. We're getting into it and shooting the shit, but we have a special guest with us today. We've got my brother, the dumb shark, matteoscalera, and our good friend Jesse Hernandez, the urban Aztec in the house.
What up? What up? Good to see
Jesse,
you, brothers, man.
Yeah, you too. You have got
yeah,
an
you too, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank
For
you.
sure.
I just looking at your backdrop, you got an impressive. Is this your studio you're in?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's all your stuff that I see, correct? Your posters,
yeah. I mean,
your statues.
with the exception of the OG like Shogun Warrior stuff chilling in there.
Right, I
everything
see
else,
that.
yeah.
I see that looking back.
that.
Dude,
That's awesome, man.
I forget who sent it to me. Someone in the family just sent me a picture of me when I was, I don't know, it was probably 7, and I had my Mazinger Z shirt on. I remember that like getting those toys when we were kids was the shit.
Oh man, I would go play with the neighbors. I'm like, oh.
So I have one question,
Godzilla,
Jesse.
I'm coming over. What's up?
Yeah, no. I wanted to ask you, do you have all those flashy stuff, the toys in front of you as well, or just behind you?
Oh, there's a lot more in front of me.
Oh shit! It doesn't get
There's
tiring
amazing.
for the eyes, like
there's
being.
so much more over here.
Oh fuck! But so at the end of a working day, like, isn't your like brain just melting for all the fucking flashy colors that you have around you?
That might be something I'm not even aware of. I always try to jam everything into the shot and be like, oh yeah, make sure everything's here represented. It is a little bit of overload. But I dig it, bro. I don't know. It's also like, so you check yourself a little bit, like, whatever you're working on now has to be as good as what you've done before. So you're like, all right, here's all the stuff you're comparing
That's
to.
a good point.
Like like that.
Looking at both of you guys, you're proud of the work you've done. You're surrounded by it. I have nothing of my own on my walls. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Like, don't you just like walk in and be like, I fucked up that, and that could have been better, and that hand's not looking great.
Well, with me, I put it for the episode with Rick Remender.
Right, but
and then I
kept it.
saw that it adds some colors to my whole thing finally. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's leave it here for a second.
Yeah.
No, I got one of your pieces here, bro. So don't worry, you're in here.
One of mine or Matteo's? One of mine.
I think yours.
Oh, the Doom.
Yeah, the Doom piece here. I still have to
nice.
rob Matteo at some point for a piece.
Well, if we manage to see each other again at the show, these fucking shows, man.
Yeah,
It's
actually,
been a
I
minute,
did
bro.
want to talk about that. I want to talk about that because Jesse, you are as Matteo put it earlier, a very successful illustrator, designer, graffiti artist. I mean,
Earlier,
name it.
just so you know, Jesse, in the previous episode that we recorded, just Shawn and I, we were talking about you, anticipating the fact that you were going to be on the show. And for a second, we talked about the fact that we haven't been able to see you at shows because lately you had some problems getting in.
Yeah, no, it's been weird with like New York especially. Like trying to get I
Yeah.
guess there's just so much demand, or I don't know what it is, but yeah, because I don't think I've seen you guys there since
Since
2022.
Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah, Seattle 2022, yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's super fun, bro, but like yeah, it sucks that we haven't been able to kick it for a while now. So hopefully rectify that situation in the coming years, you know.
Yeah. Are you doing any Comic Cons in 25?
Yeah, I got my confirmation for San Diego, so I'll be out there. But you guys don't really do you guys ever make it out there? Or,
I haven't been doing San Diego for a while. I want to go back one day to see how it is now, but I haven't. For me, it's a lot of traveling, a lot of money spent. Plus, that's the only show where our art dealer has a full like booth,
right?
So we don't even need us to be there because he's got the table with all portfolios. So there was one year when I realized, and he told me I couldn't go for some reason. And after the show, I was like, so I was in San Diego, and it was like, oh, you made like, I don't know, 10 grand. I was like, fuck. So I don't even need to be there. And that was the last time I even thought about doing San Diego, because for me, it's super stressful.
Got you. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely pretty hectic, but for me, that's always been kind of like my home. Well, okay, not the home show, because the home show used to be WonderCon before they stole it and moved it to LA.
I loved San Francisco WonderCon. I love that show.
Man, and it started in Oakland, bro, when I was a kid. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. So it was always in Oakland, and they moved it to Moscone like the last couple of years of it before they took it to LA.
That's where I went. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it was still dope, and we were building it up, and then they're doing Fan Expo up here now, but it's on Thanksgiving weekend, which is kind of hectic.
I saw that.
Oh shit!
So, did you go?
No, I didn't go. I went. I think I went the first year they did it just to check it out. And I mean, they have a ton of dope people there. It's just like a rough weekend for getting attendees and people traveling and stuff everywhere. Like not everyone's going to come to a show.
Right.
So, I mean, hopefully they can keep it going. I think they're staying with that date for a while to come.
Do people go? Is it busy?
I wasn't there this year, so I can't really say.
But, you don't know?
Well, people with no family at all and no friends.
I mean, I would go do it. Like, I'd just bring my family and be like, let's go have dinner in Chinatown on Thanksgiving. But if the show's dead, I'm not going to do it. But I wouldn't mind having Thanksgiving dinner in Chinatown. I'd be happy about that.
We were going to
there's
roll
a
and
Friendsgiving and then Consgiving.
Right. But yeah, so I mean, San Diego, I've been going to that pretty much every year since 2006. And that one's always been the one, because the toy scene was super heavy there back in the day too, and then that's kind of fallen off, and now it's a little bit of everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there was a whole section back in the day that was like,
I remember,
just the toy aisles, and so all the vinyl artists would be around, and that's still where I tend to hang out, because it's also where Artist Alley is. Is that side of the hall. And so we'll see what it's looking like this year, but yeah, I don't know. That one's always a lot of fun to me. Like, but yeah, I mean, New York is off the hook. Hopefully we can link at another spot too.
Is there any other shows you're looking at doing next year?
I mean, Designer Con for sure in Vegas.
Did you go this year to Vegas?
Yeah.
How was it? How was it with the new venue and everything?
It was dope. It was a trip because, rolling out there, you don't know what it's going to be like, whatever. And then, it ended up being, honestly, when you get in the hall, it could have been anywhere. Like, it's like, oh, this is, it's dope. It's the same thing. There's, a lot of dope friends in the building. That show's always crazy because it's like, there's so many sick artists in the building that it's like, you don't even get to talk to everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
and which is a good thing too, because it means you're busy. And then, but you had the added bonus of being in Vegas where it's like, oh, if you wanted to hang out with your friends, you can do this all night. You know,
Right, that's true.
It
That's
does it
true.
in. So
So,
yeah,
so your sales were the same? Like it didn't dip when they moved to Vegas?
no, it's pretty much the same. I think as long as you had, you know, a dope, you know, some dope product with you and, you know, that sort of thing, people would be there regardless. So,
All right.
Yeah.
you know, it's,
I might just go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and it's building up a new audience as well, right? So you already have people that are coming from LA or traveled
Right.
from wherever before. Now you have the locals in Vegas building it up, and
Mhm.
you know, spend that casino money, bruh.
Yeah, but again, we were saying with Shawn, it's so weird because you're like, I mean, we've been knowing each other since 22, and then we didn't have a lot of chance to hang out, you and
Yeah.
I. But in general, even in Seattle, I remember like you had a lot of people coming to your table, so
Yeah.
it would be great for a show organizer, for an artist, Arlie, to have you
Yeah.
there. And it's so weird, especially when you see what sometimes, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but sometimes you can see there's amateurs in there.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I mean, all due respect, I don't have anything against amateur. You got to start somewhere. So it's
Sure,
good that they have their
sure.
opportunity too. But sometimes you see, you know, professionals like you, and not only that have a specific style, you have your own language that's really, really, you know, specific and special. So you're
Yeah.
not just an artist like anyone else.
Right.
And it's so weird getting to know that, you know, you were not able to get a table in New York, and also you had a problem in Seattle as well, again, or something like that. Another big show.
It was two New Yorks. It was like the last
the
two
Yeah.
shows in
two New York in a
Yeah.
row. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I remember it was two shows that I was surprised
Um,
not to see you there. So
Yeah, no, it's
And-
it's trippy, bro. I think it's weird because I walk a line most that really there's not anyone else like you, right? Like you
Yeah,
do a lot
that's-
of different
yeah,
stuff, and
Absolutely
Absolutely.
true.
which is also the reason you should be there. But you know,
Right. Right.
there's a lot of strange you know, kind of like views of like, well, if you don't do the traditional way of what we think is a comic artist or whatever it is, then, you know, you don't get the spot or what. I don't know how they do the judging or,
I don't know because we saw. I mean, again, not to offend anyone, but there was a lot of like amateur, like people who aren't working professionally selling fan art there, and not
Yeah.
like comic book stuff, but like
Yeah.
anime stuff and other stuff. And it's just I can't make rhyme or reason of why you wouldn't get a table. You have so much to offer, and you did well the last New York we were at together, and people
yeah.
love your stuff. I can't
Yeah.
I can't figure that one out.
Yeah. What's up with that, Mike?
Yeah, I mean,
or is it, Alexander? What's going on, bro?
Oh,
Yeah,
Alexander, now I think that Mike is not responsible for that anymore.
Yeah.
yeah. I
but-
mean,
it's-
if we could, I would. I mean, you should be there. I hope we can get you back next year. I mean, this is a bit
No,
crazy.
it's,
and it's
it
not
would
like you don't
definitely
work
dope.
in comics. You're doing sideshow collectible Marvel statues. Like,
Yeah.
they're-
Yeah. And we
So
got
it's
like,
strange.
you know, fully licensed, you know,
oh yeah, those are dope. Yeah,
got the Wolverine joints, you know.
Oh,
You can see in
nice.
there.
hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
like
cool,
it's
man.
all, you know, officially licensed stuff. You know, got the gambits, bro. Yeah,
Nice. Oh, that's
Oh.
awesome.
yeah. These ones came out fresh.
Those are really nice.
Oh, with
man.
the lines that he has on the, where does he have those the pink lines on the
on the thighs.
Seen that.
Does he?
on the
yeah.
ties?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, on the side, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that was fun. That was it was earlier this year with was it Foot Locker and Reebok doing the
The
full collab with
exclusives.
Marvel. Yeah,
Nice.
and
Actually,
designed a
let's.
couple others too. We'll see what happens with that. But
Yeah, so
Can I ask you? Sorry, but before you move on, I wanted to ask you one last thing about shows. So,
Yeah.
what's consider the whole scope of what you do and the whole business. Doing shows, how much is that and your annual like revenue? Like, is that an important part, or is it more for to connect with people, or is actually like a huge part of your annual revenue? What's I was just curious because for us, you know, we're comic book artists, you do something different. So I was wondering what's for you to do, you know, a show or not do a show, if it makes a difference at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, let me check my P&L real quick, bro. No, I mean, it's so like all the different areas that I work in are all, you know, a different piece, right? So I think for me, it's important as far as percentage wise, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a factor, you know, maybe 20% or something like that. I don't know, just guessing. But as far as having a presence and people seeing your work, I think it's very important, right? And just being out there meeting new fans and connecting with older fans, collectors, and other companies, and getting different work and stuff like that from
and hanging out with amazing people.
Yeah, you know? I mean, and then just being inspired, you know, by these guys, you know, walking away fully inspired to go crush the world the next, you know, month and a half or however long, you know. Honestly, yeah, I mean, with cons, bro, that's kind of my favorite thing is the inspiration from hanging out with all your homies and stuff and seeing what happens. And, you know, people telling you that you're dope is way more fun than when you're at home, you know, and you're like, wow, true. I really suck. what am I doing?
Which is why I don't surround myself with my artwork.
Plus, I don't know about you, Jesse, but like my family doesn't give a shit about me doing comic books. I could even work in a factory. They don't give a shit as long as I provide. Like they don't care. So I don't even have that. I don't even have a girlfriend that tells me that I'm good at what I do. So,
but Jesse, how is your family? Your family loves what you do, right? Like they're pretty, or are you just dad and that's your job?
So. No, they're normally they're hyped, bro. I mean, it's always cool, like, you know, getting to hang out and do stuff and see all the crazy stuff that you get into. Because like with this whole art game, bro, you never know where it's gonna go, right? So suddenly, like, you end up being friends with people that are all over the, you know, spectrum of different things, and get to do cool stuff, you know, all the time. And I mean, it might be really lame for like a few months, and then you get one really dope day, you know, like, but
that's
you know,
totally
that's
true.
The one we talk about, you know, so it's, let's talk about the tip of this iceberg.
That's what we show social media.
Yeah. You don't worry about all the other stuff and how everything I'm doing is NDA'd, so I can't even talk about it until it comes out. Yeah, no, I think in general they're pretty hyped on it. You know, like because the little ones that are now older, they used to come to like toy signings and stuff back in the day, and now my other ones are rolling with me, and my son's hella into music, and so we've been going to kick with other like partners in different bands and stuff, and. Nice. Shout out to my boy Marcos from POD. So he laced us up for Aftershock, and so we went and kicked it with all them, and he got to go backstage. We actually rolled up on stage with him while they were performing. That was crazy.
Oh, holy shit, man!
Yeah,
That's
it was dope. And yeah, so we actually met at Designer Con maybe 3-4 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's how I ended up doing a poster with them, which I've covered with toys right now. And you know, I've worked with some other partners from Tribal Seeds, reggae group out of San Diego.
Oh, yeah, I know them. them.
And so yeah, we finally connected this year too. And did a poster for Pantera also, which was pretty dope.
Dude, that's all. Did you hang out with Pantera?
No, I wish. But no, they actually they came to Aftershock too, but it was like the Thursday, so we didn't get to make it up till I think it was Saturday. And even then we saw it was POD, Anthrax, Iron Maiden, and Judas Priest.
What?
Those are the shows that we saw that day.
Oh
it was
my
crazy.
God, that's amazing.
Jesus, man.
And,
is Priest have the whole original lineup now?
Bro, I mean, Rob Halford's out there looking, whatever his age is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of, elder statesmen up in the band. So I imagine they're pretty much as
Nice.
original as can be.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
Dude,
tripped out.
and Maiden, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. And, and I took my son's favorite band right now is, Korn. And so we got to see Korn
Okay.
and Gojira.
Oh, Gojira.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, they're great, man.
Gojira's dope, bro. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
Yeah,
Dude, I got a good Corn story.
Oh,
I was
Did you do one for Mastodon as well?
yeah.
I see back there.
Yeah,
Fuck.
actually, this one's Mastodon too. That's one of my favorite bands for sure.
Dude,
this was
Shit,
for the
man.
Crack
they're
the
from
Sky
they're from
tour.
Atlanta, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
Crack
yeah.
the Sky. That's a great album.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I had that on repeat
Fuck.
for years, I think.
Did you meet Mastodon?
Yeah. That's the homies for sure.
Oh,
And,
damn, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so jealous right now.
Actually, I seen Braun at Aftershock again too, the
Damn.
drummer. And but yeah, we've chopped it up a few times. The homie Skinner's done like a ton of stuff for them. So he did like the album cover for I forget once more around the sun, and then at the shows a lot of the animations is his work too. And
Oh shit.
and he lives in Oakland now, so generally I'll see him at all the shows, if not beforehand, then definitely after. What was I gonna say? And actually met the homie Paul Romano too, out in Philadelphia when I went there, and he did like most of their covers.
Wow.
And seen his like the Leviathan piece at Arch Enemy. I think that's the name of the gallery. And but yeah, like, and that piece was crazy, like super big. But yeah, now we're going down the Mastodon rabbit hole. But yeah.
Well, I mean, what I would like to talk about, I mean, you like coming up into comics is like, for us, it's like, all right, well, there's Marvel, and there's DC, and then there's some smaller publishers, but it's like we're very laser focused, and there's a lane, like, show your portfolio around, get to know the editors, and one day, hopefully, you get hired. But you've built like this whole lane of your own. I mean, I assume you just came up loving to draw, and you were doing graffiti. How did you turn all of that into this?
Man, I mean, honestly, I wanted to be a comic artist when I started. And then I think, the sequential side of it to me was tough because I wanted everything to be perfect. And so like I couldn't let go on each panel. Like I'm like, no, each piece has to be like a cover. And I'm like, dude, like it's never going to be done. And I was like, well, maybe I'm a cover dude or should just do posters or something like that. Or, and then I got into, animation and stuff too. And then, started doing like, Flash animations back in the day. And then did, a whole cartoon series actually called The Nut Shack. And in that one, I actually did storyboards too for everything and designed all the characters.
That was on MTV. Was that the one on MTV?
It was, Mixed TV. And so it was like, Pan-Asian MTV basically. Okay. And so it had, cable distribution as well. And so, so I was doing that. And then the whole time I was doing that as well, actually even before is when I got introduced to the vinyl toy stuff. And I'm like, yo, it mixes graffiti and toys together. And I'm like, oh, this is insane. This is like, I need to get into this. And, started, as a collector, and then was like, well, how do you make your own now? How do you expand into this? And, so started doing customs. And so where you would, at the time, there was no blanks. Like, so if you wanted to, paint your own piece, you had to kill something that you bought. Like you had to, blank it out, primer it, whatever it was. And, it would have been something else at the time. And, so I think around 2000, that was, like early 2000s. And then around 2005 is when they started having, blank ones for people to do their own stuff like that. And, but yeah, so then, from there, you're like, well, how do I get into doing my own piece or something like that, my own sculpt? And so then, and a lot of that back in the day was tough. Like no one would give you a shot, similar to comics or things like that,
Right.
right? Where until you've proven it, they don't care. Like they're like, yeah, dude,
Right.
I don't see it, you
Yeah.
know? And, so until I got like the first, toy, then everyone was like, okay, cool. Yeah. We see that it's possible. People, are into it. Like it's not just going to sit here forever. And so then from there you can keep, expanding and growing, in that direction. And so, yeah, so now it's been like about 20 years now I've been doing toys, which is kind of crazy.
Is
To think.
the toy design? Oh, go ahead, Mateo. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So no, I wanted to ask you. So about the first one you did, you just self-produced it,
No, so
or it was through somebody?
yeah, so the first one I did was it was the Fooly Cooly, Canty robot. I did like my own version of it that I'm not sure how many they produced, but it's a limited edition. And I think that was a company called Kaching Brands, which was like later became Mind Style.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like the first one. And then, trying to get into like, say, a kid robot or something at the time was a big deal back then. And so like, cause yeah, I mean, that would be your first introduction to a lot of different artists. Like, whenever you would get one of the Dunnies or something, you're like, oh, who is this? And it was like a full backstory of who this artist was and where they came from and what they were about. And so having one of those, was kind of like a dope stepping stone or, something to say that you've kind of arrived in that. And, then, so yeah, getting into those. So those are like a crossover piece, right? So it's not your original sculpt. And then,
Yeah.
so the first, like full original piece I did was the Oso Motley, which is the Aztec, Monkey King. And that one, I want to like grab it for you right now, but I don't know. Then, what's it called? But so that one, even then it took a while to figure things out. And, so me and, the homie Market 27 were working with a company called, Big Plastics. And so basically it was like, hey, I basically paid for my own prototype. And then we showed the prototype at Comic-Con with, DKE. And then once the interest was proven that, people were into it when they saw it at Comic-Con, then the factory was down to make it like as a full production.
Okay. That's how it works. Okay.
And
Gotcha.
at least back in the day. Right. So, and this is all still back when people were sculpting in clay and wax and where now the game has changed so much with, 3D and being able to do, prints and stuff like that. That didn't exist back in the day.
So with what year are we talking about, more or less? Maybe you saw it, you said it already, but I forgot.
No. So yeah, that at that point is probably about 2008, 2009, something like that.
2008. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then because then it would take a while to once you started a piece, from it to go from the design into actual production and then shipping. And whereas now people do a lot of pre-orders and stuff, back then everything was produced ahead of time. So it would have to be like a full commitment from someone to, all right, we're going to make 1,000 units of whatever this is and, try to get, different store exclusives and things like that, to make it, more manageable for different people. And, but yeah, like 1,000 units was a normal run, for a vinyl piece back in the day. And now it can be smaller or larger depending on who you're working with. So,
Gotcha.
Jesse, how much of like your success do you put on your hustle or like versus your talent?
oh man, I don't know. That's a tough question.
I mean, it's just like I'm thinking about like if I was a young artist coming up and I really I liked all the things that I like toys, I like graffiti, I like doing posters. How do you even go about doing that? Like, I assume you coming up, you had a real knack for seeing an opportunity and seizing it. But I know you're a very social, charismatic guy, but you also you hustle hard.
Yeah.
And so it just seems like that's like all those skill sets to get them to line up and get where you are. That ain't easy.
No, it's not. I think it's kind of a perfect storm, right? Where like because a lot of times, you have to step out and chop it up and build that up too. Where, I mean, I think I would be happy to just kind of chill on my own a lot of times. But when you're in different, arenas, you have to step into it. Right. And kind of, make that happen. But as far as like hustle, I think, yeah, I mean, dude, I don't sleep, like it's, I'm always doing something, or my mind's going somewhere else, or like, and honestly, I don't even think I act on 95% of the ideas I have. Like, maybe 5%, probably less. But it's like, there's no time to make all of it happen. Like but you're always thinking, like your mind's constantly going. And then I also think, I see connections between different areas that I don't know if everyone sees, where I'm like, dude, like this dude is a lot like this other dude, but they're like, you only do music, you only do comics. Like this person is over here doing pinball, whatever it is. And not everyone mixes, where I'm like, no, dude, we're all artists. Like just combine it, get everyone together. And even like, dude, like I know this dude and he would definitely be friends with that cat, even though they don't know each other. I'll try to connect them. So kind of like seeing those bridges that aren't always apparent, or just being willing to step into them too, where it's like, who cares? Like if someone says no, whatever, then it's no.
Right.
And I think we learned that early on too, where it's, in all these different art mediums, you're going to get, shut down so many times before you actually get to do what you're hoping to do. And just building that grit to continue. So that no matter what,
like getting shut down, was it hard for you to just get back up and keep going, or is it roll off your back easy?
I mean, I think I get upset, but you can't dwell on it, right? So like,
right.
I'll be pissed off for like a day and then be like, all right, well,
I'm over it.
Whatever, like, screw those guys. But
right. Well, because I always remind myself, like, I've heard a lot of comedians talk about Louis C.K. and whenever something didn't work out, he had a really good disposition where he's like, oh, it just wasn't right for them and it wasn't right for me, and he just moved on. He didn't get upset about that. Have you heard this before, Mattteo?
No, not really.
Yeah,
I mean, it sounds very like Louis C.K.
Yeah.
But,
I've heard Bobby talk about it.
Thing.
Yeah, and Bill Burr. They've all said like, aren't you upset? Like that didn't work out. Like, no, it just wasn't right for them. Wasn't right for me, and you just move on. And so like, because I used to get real like hurt by shit, but hearing stuff like that helped it roll off. But to follow up on that question, you've got all these ideas coming at you. You're busy nonstop. How do you maintain coolness? Like, how do you not get overwhelmed? How do you not get anxious? How do you not get stressed? Or are you, and you're just covering it up? Because you always seem like you're in a good mood, you're positive, and you're moving.
I mean, no, I'm all of those things, dude. Stressed out all the time, anxiety. But yeah, my face may not show it. But
no, it don't.
When I get to rap out with other people and chop it up with other creatives and stuff like that, I'm genuinely so hyped on it. Like all the other stuff goes away.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like,
cons do that for me. Like spending a weekend at a con with a bunch of artists and friends, like that centers me really well.
Yeah, I think I smile the whole time, bro. Like, Sorry, what were you saying,
to me
Mattteo?
too. Yeah, no. I was reflecting on this thing, and to me too, like even though it can't, like doing a show can be stressful, especially busy shows like New York. I don't know. It's probably the fact that I'm in New York, and especially for me because I live in Italy, so I'm on the other side of the planet. So I either do this or there's no plan B. Like I'm in New York already, so I don't have all the other shit has to wait. Like there's no, especially because I don't work digitally, so I can't bring work overseas. Like it is what it is. I'm in New York, so. Even the family, I'm sorry to say that, but the family's over there. So there's not like, there's nothing to do for me other than being here and being in the moment. And that alone is great. even when the moment is stressful, because again, sometimes I have commissions to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish them. I got a lot of things that I have to remember. But yeah, so to me, it's the show is really refreshing. And, and at the end of every day, you get to hang out, and that's another fun part, and a way to decompress from all the show shit. So it's
until we see Matteo's portfolio, and then we all leave depressed, like, God damn, bro, what? I remember we were all hanging out in Seattle, and he whipped out there was a whole, I think it was the
Mr. Freeze book.
Mr. Freeze, I
Mr.
think.
Freeze.
Yeah.
Dude, every page is insane, dude. I'm like, oh my God, like,
oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, the technical like abilities are insane, bro. Like just watching you do that, even getting to trip out on your techniques too, while we were at New York. And because you guys were behind me painting and stuff like that. And
that's right. That's
you
right.
know, watching you do the splatter technique with your brush.
Yeah, the splatters.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I just throw it. He's got the protector there. He's hitting. Okay. Oh, that is way more controlled. All right, I get you, bro. And, but yeah, I think as artists too, like we're visual, right? So like seeing how other people do things, that's how we absorb information. And you know, anytime watching you, I'm like, dang, that's amazing how he did that. And you also kind of absorb it, right? Where you're like, oh, I guess, I could try that.
Even that splatter technique that you just mentioned, I saw it from another artist in Belgium, like years and years ago. It was, David Avid Aga, the guy who did Hawkeye.
Okay.
AJA is the last name.
He does that. Yeah. Yeah.
He was doing. He's dirty in terms of when he works. He's like, he finishes his stuff like he has paint all over his hands. Like the guy is a fucking like gypsy. But it's like we couldn't find him sometimes. He would disappear and then come back and then do a couple of commissions. And he was so painted in his face. And
he
then
was going back to shower.
Probably. No, the guy is amazing. It's the coolest guy ever. And he's a really free spirit. And when I saw him, I heard like tick, 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 and went in the other room because we had like 2 or 3 different rooms for artists. And I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And he was just beating the brush with a pen or something. I was like, oh.
So he wasn't using the packet of graphite for the lead holders like you use.
No, that's my personal thing. I saw that there's a different way to it, and it's my specific spin to it.
Oh yeah. No, that's so.
Go ahead, Mattteo.
Go ahead. I know. I was curious. Another question related specifically to your work, because as we were talking earlier, you have a very specific style that combines like, how do you say? Well, as your name says, like Aztec design plus graffiti art in this, really specific and amazing way. So what does usually happens now that your name is as big as it is? Like, do you mostly have a project and then try to sell it? Like, I don't know, you have a new Wolverine design or a new Wolverine design. Do you ask Marvel if they want to do it? Or now your name is big enough that companies come to you and ask you to do your version of the stuff? Or is it it's a 50-50, 25-75? I'm just curious because you're talking about hustling. So I was curious is if you're one of those guys that have the idea and then start trying to find licensing and all that stuff.
Normally, most of the time people come to me. Some of the time I'll try to get something popping. But I mean, so say all the stuff I'm doing with Sideshow and Mondo collectibles now, those were like I, was always trying to initiate that conversation with folks. And, but even say all the Marvel stuff that happened, like I was doing it bootleg originally and then it just
really?
it wasn't going to work out. So I was, planning to do stuff, however it was. And then, approached another company about it. They didn't want to deal with licensing and then, hit up, my buddy Dave Igo when he was still at Sideshow and was like, hey dude, I don't know if, you guys would be interested in this, but I know you deal with licensing all the time, and Marvel, Star Wars, whoever. And, here's a couple of projects I was working on that people like backed out of. Do you think anyone would be interested over there? And then it just so happened that, Unruly Industries was about to start and I didn't know anything about it. But so I was the last artist they added to the roster. For that. So like there was some stuff coming out already and then they brought mine in, after that.
Jesse, what is Unruly Industries?
Well, so, Unruly Industries was it was a Sideshow imprint. So it was kind of like a side venture, for them experimenting in like vinyl toys and producing different stuff specifically for that market. Now I believe it's all folded just directly into Sideshow collectibles.
Right.
And so like say the Deadpool that came out was just a Sideshow piece. It wasn't an Unruly piece now.
Right.
It's essentially, the same type of thing. It was always Sideshow, but, they were treating it as a separate thing for a while there. And then, I got lost just there. Sorry.
No, that's good. I was just asking about Unruly Industries and what it was.
Yeah. And then so say with that, like we'll wrap out about different characters and things, to come. So the first ones were Wolverine and Iron Man and that I brought to them. And then after that, we'd talk about different ideas to get stuff going. The Batman came after that and they actually did
the Batman's dope.
Oh, thanks, bro. Right on. And stoked that.
Well, we're gonna make sure that Jamie
actually
shows them.
Hold on, I'll show
our editor. Okay, you got it.
Well, I have the Panther.
Oh, the Panther.
Oh, the Panther.
Hell yeah.
Awesome, man. The Boba.
Boba Fett. Hell yeah.
Oh, that's amazing, man. Oh, so beautiful.
Good. Man, that one, that actually started as a commission at a show, where I was like, hey, bro, I've been meaning to do this. If you don't mind, I'm going to design my toy on your cover. So, it might take me a little while, but I've never drawn this character and it's been in the queue to make as a toy. So whatever I do here is going to become the toy. So I actually, brought it home with me so that I could finish it up because I didn't want to do it all in like one day.
So that dude's hype on the commission he got.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah,
that's a valuable piece. That's dope.
So it's like the first appearance, awesome. And that was at Tucson Comic-Con back in the day. And,
do you do that every year? Are you still doing that every?
I didn't do it this year. I did it like maybe the 3 years before that though.
I want to do that one. I've talked to Mahfood about doing that one. I have one of my childhood homies is an artist in Tucson. So I would love to go out there. If you're going out there, it'll give me more reason to pursue it.
No, it's a dope show. It's the area is super chill. The food's hella good. People are chilling. Like it's always a good time out there. And Brian Pulido puts that on now.
Right. Jim knows Brian. That's why he said if we want to go, he can contact Brian.
And my homie Mike Olivares was the dude who started the show back in the day, and so they all kind of collaborate on it. And but so it's always a fun time over there for sure.
What time of year? That's is that in June?
It's which weekend is that? I want to say September. I think it's September because it used to be, dude, it's because it's the same time as another show, I think one of the Florida shows, I think is what it was.
Actually, it's the same time as Dragon Con.
Yeah,
it's Dragon Con. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I could skip a year of Dragon Con. I would love to go to Tucson. Maybe I'll look into that. Are you going to go next year, you think?
Possibly. We'll see what's good with it.
All right. Let's talk after the show. Maybe we'll both go. That'd be fun.
But yeah, I mean, so, and then like on the Marvel stuff too, like, for me, I've been trying to figure out how to transition that where designing these characters to become toys, how do I now turn it into, a book or something like that? You know, like how do I
Mm-hmm.
get that from the toy collectible side onto the comic side? And that's, you know, been in the cards for what I was trying to do this whole time. I just don't know who to holler at, you know, or,
Dude, do you know?
see
Well,
what's
and
You know,
good.
I think
Umberto?
it's sorry to interrupt, Sean, but I
No, go
think
ahead,
it's
go ahead.
also the timing would be perfect because
Yeah.
I don't know, you as you said that, you just reminded me of our friend Peach Momoko, who
Yeah.
Oh
proposed her whole
yeah,
Japanese version of the Marvel character. So I
Yeah.
think they'd be open to it. I mean, I don't see why they
That'd be
wouldn't.
awesome. Like an Aztec Marvel U, that'd be incredible.
Yeah.
yeah. I guess it would just be trying to figure out who to present, you know, with the idea. So if you're watching, by the way,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
Well, I
you know,
mean, I'm sure that at least like 20 or 30 Marvel editors watch our podcast. So.
that's right.
well, you know who does watch our podcast who might be able to champion this idea is Umberto. Because
Oh,
Umberto
Umberto,
loves
yeah.
the show. Do you know Umberto, Jesse? You've met him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's the homie, man.
Yeah.
He's super
Yeah,
good people.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
So,
yeah,
if
no,
Umberto,
everything he's done.
chop.
Yeah.
Yeah, Umberto.
Do something.
Make it happen.
Or yeah, if we could release it just in Mexico, then you know, if we had to.
Dude, yeah, then you guys can all go. There's that big is it Mole Comic-Con?
Yeah.
La Mole.
Yeah.
La Mole,
Yeah,
yeah.
La Mole, yeah. Yeah, and then I'll come down just to hang with you guys.
Yeah. No, that'd be sick for sure. Hell yeah.
That'd be hella dope.
So, Jesse, I was curious. So, when you design, let's say you have a new idea or a new toy that gets commissioned from another company, do you just handle the 2D design and then you have a modeler that does the work, or you do it everything in-house? So you basically deliver the 3D model and everything's ready to be basically produced.
So for me, it's mainly the concept and like turnaround and color design. And so yeah, in whenever there's a project, it's kind of like reinterpreting another character. How do you stay true to the original but then go a totally different direction? So it's always a balancing act, right? To try to make sure that you go somewhere totally fresh, but then it's always recognizable as the original character as well. So it's really kind of a fine line you're always walking. And but it's like it's a fun like kind of puzzle to put together in a way. And
absolutely.
like, you know, trying to figure out how that works. And I think, I mean, I've always been into, you know, doing character designs, you know, since, you know, the little kid. I think, you know, I was always, you know, reading comics and stuff when I was young, and then you try to create your own characters and stuff like that. And so I think for a lot of us, that's probably, you know, we will always be doing that. You know, you draw their characters, then you try to make your own characters, and so yeah, I guess it's kind of something I've been doing for a long time. But you know, now it's always this trying to create something entirely different that is still recognizable, and then, you know, go somewhere people are kind of surprised by, like say the Godzilla, for example. You know, people, I didn't know what the reaction would be, you know, working on that. And it took a while to convince, Toho that it would be, you know, worth doing. And, you know, they're like, why would we do this? You know, like, oh dude, it's going to open up a whole new market. You don't even realize what's going to happen right here.
Absolutely.
You know, and just the, seeing how people reacted to it, man, it's been awesome. And Godzilla is as an international character. I mean, it's, you know, has an impact worldwide, you know, so seeing that, you know, ripple effect happen was kind of crazy, you know, and getting to work on that.
Well, you're going to be so sick of me asking this question every few months. I DM Jesse. He knows what I'm going to say. Do you have your APs for the Godzilla, the pink Godzilla?
I got part of it.
Oh, no.
So I keep checking with, hey bro, when's the rest coming in? And, but no, I got a couple in. So yeah, I'll have to make good with the homie.
I want to buy. I want to buy one. I definitely want to buy. I've been waiting for, dude. And that King Ghidorah looks crazy.
Oh, thanks, brother.
Sorry, ignorant question. What you said APs? What?
Oh, artist proofs. So,
okay.
Jesse, explain how it works. The way, like, you don't get paid a ton to design it, but you get a bunch of artist proofs that you can sell. Is that correct?
It's all different, right? So every company is a little bit different.
It's a different contract.
Yeah. And so generally, an artist sample or an artist proof is like, so they made however many, you get, say, 20 of each piece, to do what you want. And, from there. So, and that's, similar to the whole thing since, like back in the days, the vinyl stuff, often that would be your main, source of whatever from the designs was just getting like, okay, kick me like, 10%, 15% of the run and I'll sell them on my own. Then, that's, it's, and again, it could be whatever it is. And then where some are, design fee up front, some is all royalty, some is a combination of all the above. And so, yeah, it all depends, man. Like, on each company, I think it's all different. But yeah, gotcha. So say like all the ones here are ones that, they ended up sending over, at some point. Yeah, this is the joint that he's talking
there it is. That's the one I want. Oh, dude.
Ooh.
Oh, that is so dope. The fire is so incredible.
The fire is
so
genius,
incredible.
Man.
Yeah. That's such a beautiful design.
I was stoked. And so yeah, shout out to Hector Arce on this. So he's the creative director at Maldonado. So he actually he's the one that painted this as well. And,
nice.
Yeah, he's a beast, bro.
Is King Ghidorah, is that out yet, or you saw early?
So that one, what they'll do is they'll paint the prototype and then put it up for pre-order. So that thing was running, I think for a week, and so then I guess technically it's sold out now for the first run.
Okay.
And
that was at Designer Con where they showed it. Was that right?
Yeah. So they showed it at New York Comic Con. The color, the painted one. And again, I think Hector was like trying to finish the piece like at the hotel before he could show it. So, I'm not sure which day it made it to the floor, but he was working on it at the hotel. Wow. And then, so the first time I saw the painted prototype was at, Designer Con. And it was, insane, bro. You can't even take it all in. Like there's so much happening. Cause I was like, how do I step it up past what I did with Godzilla or on par with it, like you have to go crazy. What kaiju do you guys want to see next?
I was gonna, so you've only done Godzilla and King Ghidorah, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to see Mothra.
All right. Done deal.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on Godzilla, so I wouldn't.
I love Mothra.
Know.
Gamera or Mothra, I'd be happy with.
Those all sound good. Yeah. I started a sketch for Mothra that's looking pretty sick. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Could give suggestions. So please in the comments.
Yeah. There's quite a few that we could go. So yeah, I'm interested to see what you'd want to see next.
Ultraman would be cool. Ultraman would be cool.
Oh, by the way, there's a guy. Sorry, it just reminded me because we were talking about this subject. There's a guy who contacted me. He's a 3D modeler, and he's doing like he grabbed a panel from my Mr. Freeze book, and he's doing there's one of the first pages. They Batman and Mr. Freeze face each other in a sewer. And then Mr. Freeze grabs Batman by the neck and he puts it against the wall. And he's doing that thing. And he's doing a black and white version. So there's no colors. It's all gray tones.
Is he sculpting it digitally or like
no. By hand. He's doing the whole thing in pieces. I don't know how he does it. Like he's an aspiring sculptor. But to me, like I saw, he sent me some pictures. And it looks legit to me. I'm not an expert, but it looks legit. So I told him like he wanted my permission to show them for a project that he's doing. And then we started talking. It was like, listen, it's like when you finish it, because he wanted a commission. So it's like, are you cool with I do a commission for you and you give me that piece? Oh, Shawn disappeared.
I'm here.
Shawn.
My camera fucked up. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
So yeah, I told him, hey, if you want, we can trade. I can do a commission for you, and you give it to me, because he's an Italian guy, so it's easier, even to see each other. So yeah, once I don't know, we were talking about toys and all this stuff, so it just came to my mind.
No,
Shawn,
I'm excited
are you able to solve
bro.
the problem? Oh yeah. I'll show it. I'll put it here once it's done, man. I want to hear your opinion on it once it's done. I'll take pictures and send it to you.
Stoked to see it,
Shawn?
bro.
Yeah, I'm here. My camera. I don't know what's going on.
Are you in the Black Lives Matter moment?
Yes. That's my. No, but look, we're at the end anyway, so I'll let you sign us out of here. I don't know what my camera's doing, but Jesse.
So, Jesse, there's anything in particular you want to plug? I remember your website is jessehernandez.net. Is that right?
jessehernandez.net, urbanaztec.com. Let's you hit me up on Instagram is Urban Aztec. It's stoked to see what everybody's working on and keep rocking, bro. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Shawn, what do you think? One last word.
I don't. I suck. That's my last word. My camera sucks. I don't know what's happening. But
your
thank
camera,
you, Jesse. Thank you so much
Jews.
for coming. Yeah, it's an anti-Semitic camera. Jesse, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Mattteo,
Jesse, you're amazing. Yeah. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Let's link up soon, bro. I miss you.
For sure.
Definitely.
I'm gonna do a short bye-bye. All right.
Yeah.
The Inkpulp Podcast.